And I think we're live. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. Let me just get some last little things set up here that I should have done before I went live, but I didn't bother to do. I hope everyone is doing well this balmy Thursday evening. I am just putting some music on for me that's separate from what you're all listening to. A little bit less royalty free. Okay, perfect. So we are painting tonight some Dreadnoughts of, not New Tortuga, I don't know what makes you think that, of Caraway Cavern, which is considerably more of a mouthful, but it is what it is. These guys are going to be unique because, I mean, they have very unique sculpts, very different color palettes, so I don't know how we'll be going about this. I'll figure it out as I paint. Speaking of painting, let's dive right into it. I think I'm going to start... I don't know, which one should I start off with? I think I'm going to start off with my green guy here. One, because he's the smallest, and I like painting green. Yeah, normally when you paint these guys, you want to, like paint squads, you want to kind of go end line, paint all the colors, but I think I might just be painting as I feel it. We'll try to keep the canon color schemes, but we may deviate just a bit. The pirates, yes. Yarg. It's a pirate's life for me today. I think that's a bit of a too small brush, so let's just go up to our workhorse brush. Starter brush from Army Painter. Unfortunately, my other brush I consistently use, I forgot I was doing a little bit of detailing on one of my models that still had some super glue on it, and I got some on the brush tip, and it ruined it, which made me really sad. Always wait for things to dry. Trying a new setup here today to make my face a little bit less blocked by things, so we'll see how that works out today. It's always a balancing act of, do I balance the sound? If the sound or anything sounds off, let me know. I had to kind of de-Halloween everything, so something might have got lost in the mix. We are using black green from Pro Acryl to get this really nice dark tone. This is one of my favorite colors just to build green off with, as it's just... I like using black mixed with any other color as the base tone. It gives you the darkest form possible, and it gives you a lot of room to build up. Hell, your brushes, so I just get the cheap ones. Yeah, that's... I recommend doing that. I'm pretty brutalistic. I'm better than I was when I first started, but I was talking to one of my friends who paints, and he says he's had the same brush for like 8 years or something like that. And I was like, I don't know if I sometimes, like, I'm just painting late at night, and I just kind of go into a frenzy, and I'm like, oh wait, I didn't even rinse my brush off at night before I went to bed. So we use a Synthol highlight for these guys, and let's keep these guys in focus if possible. There we go. And use a Synthol black undercoat with a white ink on top via my airbrush, and we're keeping our paints then almost acting like a sort of speed paint on top of these guys, just to give a very nice solid but translucent layer to preserve the many details these guys have. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting these guys painted for a bit. I had the pre-painted that Renegade sent my way, and I thought they looked pretty good, honestly. It was like, I was fairly impressed with the paint quality that has been coming out lately. But even still, just knowing how to paint does give you a lot more options on what you want to do. I wish this guy was scaled appropriately with the rest of his Dreadnoughts. He does seem just to be considerably smaller, which is disappointing. I wish the Dreadnoughts all were like a medium 6 size. They're a little on the smaller side. The sculptor that did the early Age Annihilation models really loved Gas Mask. For some reason, their interpretation of pirates was Gas Mask. Keeping our layers nice and thin, just to keep all these details intact. Just using our paint handle to make sure we hit the undersides. Almost feel like we're a bit too bright. Let's see if we can risk a little bit of step down. Okay, that's a little bit better. The for Killian's BO, that's funny. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the complaints about them not being historical would be alleviated if they just kind of dropped some of the future punk stuff on them and just had them kind of more standardized pirate gear. I feel like sometimes they miss the mark on kind of pirate vibe. Like, I wish Killian was just, a standard pirate, and I've talked to some of the War Council, and they said that's kind of what we're trying to go for, but the sculptor had other plans. Pirates are fun to play. They're a little tricky. There we go. Finding that focal points today. There we go. It's a bit better. I honestly, I feel like the biggest misstep for the Pirates was Fia Bonnie. She just doesn't feel like a pirate at all. Like, she feels like some kind of Mandalorian. I hope we honestly get a 2.0 of her someday. She seems to be kind of getting more important to the lore. And, we saw sketches of her without a mask, so I think that would be kind of a fun variant to make her more traditionally pirated. And I think that would be a really great 2.0. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting some 2.0s of the new stuff that's been released. And even though I know the 2.0s are primarily made for nostalgia, I think there's some storytelling stuff to be had there. I might honestly have to look at a picture of these guys, because they got so many little details. All right. And now we're using burnt red from Procryl. This is my favorite color of theirs. It is just it's a very utilitarian red. It gives you lots of uses. Hello, Bill. Hope you're doing well today. November is kind of a weird month. I haven't taken down my my Halloween theming yet, and then we have Christmas next month. It's kind of like, how do you even kind of prep for this? Then you have like Thanksgiving somewhere in there, and it's just hard. I have to reset everything, but it's hard to do. Now, real question. Maybe a hot take, it's not really a question, is I don't really like Thanksgiving that much. I think it's kind of an overrated holiday. I think, It's just like a placeholder for better things to come. Let's see here. I have one make a pirate army. Some use the pirates as extra villains for Judge Dredd game. Ooh, that's fun. I've never seen Judge Dredd. I know, through cultural osmosis about it, but I watched a lot of movies in my time. I just never kind of bothered to get around to it. I heard it's pretty fun, though. I think they will come out with common pirate squads or heroes. I don't know. I think they should make common pirate heroes, because they could really use from a little bit of redundancy in their armies. I think, they have Thorman, and they have the Kraken, which can become a pirate. I think there's just a bit of room for just something that, fills in an army. Honestly, I would love, a 20-point pirate hero. Pirates are tough because they're all kind of pricey. And if you lose, one pirate, the army kind of falls apart. It's kind of why they're kind of tough. They're really good if you know what you're doing, but I honestly do think all the pirates are just one defense too short for being good. My pitch for a common pirate is a pirate Promedon, like Capuchin Monkey. He's a literal powder monkey. He goes around and just refills people's black powder markers and gives them some benefits and blows up if you shoot him down. I think that'd be kind of a fun little unit, bringing some more Promedons into the game. I think there's a limited design space for pirates. Every pirate ship has to have expendable crewmates. There's people below deck that are just being replaced and added. I see why people argue against it, and I won't say you're wrong, but the fact that we don't have enough pirates currently to man a full ship, which, it's 20 people. It just shows that there's some room for growth, I think. Yeah, a common hero. I don't think we need common squads for pirates. A couple, just generic pirates, even in the mix, would work well. If we didn't want to do the lore of their own ships and stuff like that. Be the Crabs pirate? Yeah, why not? I think that's a really good idea. I think the crabs need a big pirate, a big crab king, and they'll boost up. You make a crab, have a crab king leader that boosts all scavengers to move 2 spaces if they end their movement on lava, and then has some kind of really strong special attack. And then we're cooking. The crabs are decent at that point. Or pirate familiar that bonds with pirate captains. I could see that. I'd like the idea of the captains existing, but I do think that I'm trying to think of a pirate familiar. Ooh, parrots and stuff like that would be really fun. Can I get some of those beasties in play? Would be nice. I would love to see an Arborian pirate. Some different takes on those things. Common pirate squad and flying surfboards. I'm down for it. I think we could also add pirates that aren't the pirates of, in the Heroscape lore. We can add space pirates or some variants of pirate that aren't. These are pirates, but they work with each other. They kind of expand the pirate synergy list without breaking the lore. I think would be nice because pirates aren't only on Valhalla. There's a whole range of pirate tropes to touch on. I think none of the ones we'd have any classical tropes. Yeah, I love some pirate beasts, some monkeys and, weird alien little guys and, some kind of a variation of Morph from Treasure Planet. That's actually the one thing IP I would love, is Treasure Planet Escape. Just bring all those cool designs in, and then we're set. Alright, we're just getting some color on here. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are silver. We're going to go with some Pro Acrylic Dark Silver and start filling in the silver. Yeah, the fact that a unique squad could be a pirate with 1+ attack is very fun. I agree. The problem I have with that is that Crimson Widow herself is so expensive that it makes it kind of hard to build uniquely into that army. But I'm for sure certain that we'll see some kind of Kraken. I've been experimenting with Kraken builds just to kind of see how far it goes, and I think there's a build somewhere with Crimson Widow and the Kraken. I think that could be a very potent army. But I don't know what the. But if we just had some like common pirates just to kind of stand up more to Spamscape, then I think we could really they could settle in. Because pirates can do so much in a turn, at least the good ones. You know, you have. If only Admiral EJ was like a pirate or a captain, he would slot in so much better. But by making him not that, you just lose out on a lot of synergies. Beat Heroscape of that army in HSD, the Crimson and the Kraken. That's good. Always good to beat Heroscape. I like the guy. I like the guy. I've actually done some editing for Sir Heroscape for some of his videos. He's reached out and had me help him edit some of his stuff for him. So I've worked with him for a bit, and I've sent him some cool paint jobs as well. I think he did a reveal of that on his channel. Widow, Kraken, Knaves, Dreadstorm. Ooh, that's a fun build. I just like painting the little guys. Yeah, I agree. That's the best part. See, everyone's all concerned about the meta and all that stuff, and I'm over here kind of in my own corner, like, but how how viable are the color schemes? How detailed are the models? Am I going to want to paint 50 of these? Are these fun to paint? My tier lists are definitely a lot different than more of the competitive players. Yeah, 5 order markers on heroes. That's the tough part. I like when heroes get a little boost. My favorite format to play is heroes only, with lots of points, because that's so fun. That's my favorite. It's not done too much because people love their Squadscape. But man, I love like a 600 point limit with only heroes. And we're just kind of blocking in these colors, being a little sloppy with it. I'm gonna have to go back and forth between all these guys. Get all the details done. But we're trying to at least get some base layers done today for our stuff. Yeah, EJ is just way too expensive to include, and you should be like an auto include in all pirates, but like at 180 points base, you know, not playing Delta, you're really like, you know, would you rather play EJ or like any other like powerhouse of a unit that can just, you know, I don't think he does enough to justify that cost. I like him. What's the Delta have him at? Like 120, 130 or something like that? I think that's a little bit better of a price range for him. I think the Scions would be fun to paint. The Great Bows would be frustrating, but yeah, Scions are. I haven't even bothered painting them yet. I've painted one, I think, just to test some schemes, but they're just, I don't know. They're just so little. They like don't interest me as much. I hate painting dragon wings. Like that's never fun for me. Just getting in all the wings and highlighting them. But the giants, I kind of can pop a squad of giants out in like half an hour. It's just nice that they're so big. They're almost brainless. Just kind of like turn off, and I primed mine all in silver, so I don't even have to worry about the armor. I just kind of fill in the details and go on with my life. You don't ever see the command cards released in 2006? No, not even sure what that's referring to. Is that referring to Heroscape? Like special kind of cards? That was a completely different game. Okay, let's get a little bit more of a tip here. We're gonna go a black-brown just for the brown areas. A bit too thick, so we're gonna spread that around. Oh, I think I remember someone, like a blog post or something about that. There was some kind of alternate way of playing. I think I remember what you're talking about now. There we go. I put my paint on a bit thick on this handle, so I just spread it around to not clog up these little tiny lines. Why, it's Tails! Top of the evening to you as well. I hope you're doing well this November evening. I didn't have a chance to catch Tails stream last night. I was sad about that. I've been pretty busy on my end. That's kind of why my video production has slowed down a bit, which I apologize for. I'm kind of it's just November and October are like the busiest months for me in terms of just I'm literally have been packed every day. So I have so many projects just kind of sitting on the shelf waiting to get that last little bit of Rogue love to be finished. So eventually I'll I'll find time to sit down and edit. Deck of 64 cards. Each player drew 5 cards. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was I never played it, but it did seem intriguing. That's one thing I like about new units. They feel very fresh in how they manage order markers. There's lots of versatility in that, where there are some options besides just run nothing but the same, 8 times stingers the entire time. You get a little bit of versatility with order markers or development, which I think is nice. I think the Nukis might be some of my favorite units to play. I've played a lot with them, and they're just so versatile. You just have a lot of things going for them. I love more units like that for other factions. We get some soldiers. I think we have a little bit of that with G.I. Joe. And kind of you get a bond with more than one, and just making heroes better is seems to be a good design point to build off of. Okay. You see the picture here. Color of his pants. Or I just paint my own pants and not care about it. I think they have like a grayish pants. Yeah, I'll just do gray. I think it'll look nice either way. I don't have to follow the rules. Now, if only I could find my gray, then we'd be set. Donde está? I guess I can just pull up my black and white if I'm really busy. Oh, we'll get some Payne's Grain. Payne's Gray going. A nice blue-gray to build things off. A little bit of contrast with the blues and the greens and the reds. Or is that just skin? I'll have to think about this, but I actually think it's just skin. Why add another color to the mix when we can just keep it the color it already is? Hope to make it to Gen Con 2026. Already trying to save up for it. I'm trying to balance it all, but I might have to drop one con this year. Or two. Honestly. I'm just, I don't know if I have the funds and the time off to manage it, but I'm trying to make it happen. Because I had such a great time seeing all the escapers and playing some games, and I don't get to play that much Heroscape where I live, so I like to condense it all into a couple days. But I don't know. If you had to choose between one, Gen Con or Scape Con. Season 2 is re-edit posted last night. Season 3 re-edit premiere is soon. I'll have to go back and watch your stop motion tales. It's been a hot minute since I've seen them. I'd love to see the re-edits. Getting lost. Yeah, I for those of you who haven't seen my Gen Con retrospective or the one on Hexhola's channel, I am a bit of a wanderer, a bit of an absent-minded person, so to speak. Surprisingly, if anyone's ever watched me stream before, you know that I'm quite easy to distract. And Gen Con is just a place filled with thousands of people and a bunch of shiny things, so I got lost quite a lot. Yeah, Gen Con, that is true. I do like seeing some of the other stuff. I like wandering in the hall. I like seeing people from a different kind of spread than Scape Con, which is nice. But it's also like a lot more just like of everything, which is tough. I also like meeting the people from Renegade, saying hi, and so it's tough. I don't know. I could really only do Gen Con if I could go with someone else. I should join you for the Season 3 premiere. I would love to. What day is that? Next Wednesday? Wednesdays are tough for me. If it's Sunday, then I'm free. I have D&D every Wednesday. Remember, you'll give me a plush scroll? Yes, I would love it. It will go right there in my my wall of memorabilia. That's not probably in camera right now, but I would love it. Any tips for using gloss varnish? I picked up a bottle of the Armored Painters recently, but haven't used it yet. So, gloss varnish should be used sparingly. Is my is my tip. Because it has a tendency to overpower your paint jobs. It should be used for, a specific effect, like slimy things, or things you want glistening and moist, for lack of a better word. But since so much light is reflected off of it, it does have a chance to diminish any paint layering and work you've done on it. What you can do, if you want to kind of get more of a controlled effect, you can spray with gloss varnish and then layer matte over it until it's a sheen you like. Might be in December. Oh, December will be different. Okay. You get my reason for the plush squirrel? I do not. I'm sure the reference went over my head, and I'll realize it as soon as you say it. Oh, for Tuck Harrigan, possibly? Yeah, that said, I do keep a bottle of gloss on hand just for when I want that effect. But also another use for gloss varnish is metallics. So if you're painting some Knights of Weston, a gloss varnish on that will make your metallics appear even that much more bright. That, or if you're using like Turbo Dork, like if you want something to be reflective and shiny, it's really good. Is it a spray can, or is it like a rattle can, or is it more like a like in a bottle that you can put onto a palette? Because if it's onto a palette, then you do have options as well. You could do it for eyes and mouth. You kind of get that saliva look. But if it's a rattle can, it's hard to kind of control where you want it to go. Oh yeah, bottle for palette. Then that does give you a bit more control and options. What you can do is, like matte or satin varnish your model, and then for something like, I'm trying to think if I have anything nearby I used it for. I traditionally use. I don't have my frost claws. So like when I was painting my frost claws, I did the eyes and like the inside of the mouth with just a bit of gloss varnish, or the inside of my Thyraxis's mouth, just to make it feel really kind of visceral. Oh, okay, I get what you're referencing now. Yes, I'll still take the squirrel plush. I won't say no. I got so distracted that I forgot I was talking about being distracted. That's how. That's how I work. See, this part, I hate when models do this. Like, kind of create just this... I have to, like, literally angle my brush like this and carefully fill it in. And, I can't even do very well highlights in here just because it's such a awkward angle to do so. Yeah, Up is a movie that is good up until the second act. That's my review of it. The second act's okay, but the third act just kind of loses it for me. It's completely off focus here. There you go. So ideally I would like to go to both, but me and the wife are thinking about selling our home recently and moving, so we're trying to see if we want to save some time and expense for that to go somewhere else. The kids are rapidly outgrowing our home. It's kind of crazy. We got it when they were all like 2 and 1, and now they're all like almost 7 and 5. It's crazy. I'll have to have my wife hop on one of these streams sometime. She's pretty cool, so, and she can she can help me stay focused, which is nice. All right, let's see what we want to do here. I don't know whether it's the fall weather finally setting in, but I feel kind of good today, so I'm in a good, well-rested mood. I was pretty tired from daylight savings, and that time change, but I think I finally leveled out. Wife collab confirmed. Yeah, she's not much of a painter, but she is a lot better at talking than I am for sure. And that's not like I hope that doesn't sound sexist. She's just talking for me is a chore I try to actively avoid. And she can just naturally carry herself in conversation, and she's quite pleasant and quite cool to talk to. But I think she's setting up Christmas stuff now. I asked her to show up today, but maybe some other time. You know, I was thinking about copying Hexhala and just doing some other board games with her for a stream or a day sometime. Just for something different. I'm always like struggling to how much like of Heroscape focus I want to keep the channel. And of course I want to keep it pretty solid on that fact, but it's kind of like something I'm back and forth on. I'm like, do I want to start doing other things? But I feel like it might dilute everything a bit, so I've stopped from doing too much errant things. Finally finished my second Thyraxis Dragoon, looking to paint my last one with Martin Agrep colors. Any suggestions? Let's see here. And I'm back again. And so this is a Nagrub I'm working on currently. So in terms of recommendations, definitely work on one part at a time, especially with the darker stuff. And you probably want to paint your shell first, just so you can get that part locked in, because it's easier to lay up green than it is to layer up this off-white yellow of the skin. I used kind of like a medium called Noosh. I mixed it in and kind of used it on there. You want it to settle in the cracks, but Amaro successfully works if the more of that white yellow you can have, with that red feeling kind of splattered on. It's a messy approach. And then figure out what you're gonna do with the rider. The rider is like my least favorite part of them. If you're able to spray paint or prime in a different color, definitely recommend using like a light brown or light gray, just to save you a lot of time. Yeah, that's a big old grub. My secret is I like, especially for Nagrubs, if you look at like the actual Nagrub, they have a bit of other colored wash in addition to the standard kind of red oil slap on. That it's I use like a soft tone from Army Painter to darken the yellow brown and fill in the other areas with a bit of shading. Do it in my kids paint some of your D&D stuff. Oh, that'd be fun. I'm teaching my kids to paint. They're pretty little still, but if you allow me to get distracted again and see if I can find it, I actually think you took it up. I started teaching my kid about speed paints, and he did really good for his last birthday. I took him to the game store. He got to pick any unpainted model he want and put that stuff on. Yeah. Noosh is really great. I've been experimenting with it. I have a video pinned that it's not fully ready because I'm not happy. I haven't got the ratios right, but that's how I got this effect. I think I just needed a little bit more of the noosh mixture to get the fully desired effect. But so far, I'm having great results using it for Morrow stuff. I mix a bit of like burnt orange, a little tiny bit of red, and a little bit of brown together for the kind of the blood spattering. Make the the red wash a bit more orange than you would think it needs to be. Don't go pure red, because it'll look all bloody and not how the other Morrows look. A bit of orange will offset it with a little bit of light brown. I need an army for an event coming up. 500 points, 2 generals. Each general needs to have at least 200 points. Hit me with ideas. Is this contemporary or all time? That's I think a big one. 1 part paint, 6 part noosh usually. Yeah, I think I did about 2 parts noosh, so it didn't stick on as well as I would like to. But so far in my quest for the perfect Morrow, it's coming up with pretty good results. All time. Let's see here. So 500 points, 2 generals. Each general needs to have at least 200 points. Rowan's and Eisenach's are pretty good. I think scout builds are really interesting if you can one if you have the figures, but doing some weird hybrid Mohican Venok army, I've played a couple times in the past. I don't know if there's enough points for that, but that's pretty fun because 7 move Mohicans is not to be messed with. But they're pretty hard to balance. 24 hexes. Oh, so you do have a lot of space. So a lot of stuff available off the top of my head. I mean, you could do something with knights. Do you know, have Sir Hawthorne knights. And something with him. I'm trying to think of 500 points. You win a lot of figures on the board with 500 points at 24 hexes. But 2 generals does make it interesting. What are some cross synergy stuff here? I'm trying to remember every Heroscape unit ever created offhand. Might have to pull up Heroscape.com as I wait for this to dry. So let's see here. Heroscape.org, I'm sorry. I play the game, I swear. You know what would be really good and simple is an elemental build. Is just do fire elementals and then do like water elementals, and then you're kind of set. Acolytes for Lich. That is pretty fun. I've never played Romans with Lich, which I assume them having a bit of a ranged hero would not be bad. Yeah, Romans, pretty much anything with that cross synergy bonding is an easy one. Death Knights, oh yeah, that's a good one as well. Trying to think of some fun builds. I mean, you could also just use mixed splashed armies. Are always good. For the meta, you want a lot of something to chew through things. Zelrig and Greenskills. I mean, right there, Zelrig and let's see, Zelrig. Yeah, that does sound interesting. I am intrigued by that. I think Romans are just going to get so much utility with the G.I. Joe stuff coming out too as well. 3 times United Vipers, 3 times Warlord. That I do like that build. It does kind of look fun. Just use Venox as a strike force, weaken the army. Or actually, no, you would bring in Mohican River Tribe and just kind of plink at until they get in range. Then you rush in the Veenox. I think would be a better play with that. Wormling, you know, like those cross bonding things. Wormlings are pretty fun. I love playing Wormlings. That's one of my favorite armies to play. Where you can just kind of cheese the event. How many Wormlings can you get for 500 points? Like 15 or something like that? If my bad at math is correct. You could run Thyraxes and Nagarubs, but that's probably not the best. You know, Death Chasers have lots of options. I think. Or are they all Utkar? Oh, you just do Death Chasers and Adelburn. Is always reliable. We're just adding a second layer to our cloak here. Let's see here. You could do a knight build, which I think would be unique and interesting. You know, just at least in this meta, you could do Phantom Knights and you know, like Concan and either Templar or Ordo, which I think would be pretty fun. I really like the Ordo in a knight build. It's really fun. Plop Concan next to them, and that 4/4 that 4 ranged attack is pretty spicy. Or 5 if you get height. It will chew through things, and they're so tanky they just stay around, especially with that extra defense from Concan. And if they get picked off, and you just bring in the Phantom Knights after the Ordo take out all the range, could be pretty fun. Q10 with 8 range and 4 attack. I don't want to talk about Q10. He knows what he did, Q10. I just wish Q10 just didn't have to hit the same unit with each attack. Like he was limited to choosing 3 different targets. He would be a bit more balanced. The problem is he just has total options. Or even if he couldn't use his special attack if you engaged him. Like, that's just the easiest way to balance Q10. Crimson Widow can fit into a lodge. Isn't it weird to make the Krav Maga pirates? I mean, that's a fun take on them. I experimented with a Ordo Widow build for a bit, because just treat the Ordo as a very tanky melee unit. It didn't work out too well in my brain. Okay. Let's hit this whole area we missed in the under chest. This is why I like typically working with black. I did a Zenithal Prime for this one just because there's so many small details. But if you can get that shadow area in black, it saves you a lot if you don't hit all the spaces, because it just appears like shadow. Because every time I turn this guy around, I find a new different little part I missed. Alright. I'm going to give those wrappings. Maybe something with Grave Grim, but I don't think Grave Grim is fully good yet. But Grave Grim Death Knight build could be kind of fun. Just trying for some more unique things. I like building unique armies more so than good ones. I think if I just played more common spam, I'd be better at my rankings. Yeah, I think there's some room for the pirates. I think what's really fun, what's really sneaky, is Knaves, Dreadnoughts, Cornelius, and like another pirate captain. Maybe Crimson Widow if she fits in the points. I don't know for sure. But because then you get a mutiny with Cornelius twice, which is really fun. Is Livy Tag Bears open. Not a lot of units, but they're beefy. Yeah, I feel like that will. I like minions. Minions always betray me, though. I whiff on their fire defense so often. I have bad feelings about them. Think of cross army synergies. I was thinking today, I haven't played the Morrow Warriors in literal years, and I kind of miss them. Like, they're like so iconic, and I was like, I kind of avoid them because they can kind of they can turn into an unfun experience for new players. So I just haven't played them a lot. And I was like, oh wait, these guys are kind of fun. And I was thinking, I was like, I just haven't played with a lot of them. Like, part of me wants to just play a just Rise of the Master set game again, just for kind of feel like I did when I was 9 years old, just to kind of relive it. And I was like, man, I haven't touched some of these units have just been collecting dust for so long, and they're good. It's not like Morrow Warriors are bad or anything. There's so much new stuff to try out that it's tough. Not even focus. Death Chases with Big Bear, Beatsteak to Bond, and Failing with Jandar commons. Yeah, that's a fun one. Death Chasers are mean. They are brutalistic. And if you're not, like, if your opponent isn't running like some kind of like fourth mass or strong range counter, they'll just swarm you and overtake you. Jandar! Because he's important to the plot. We're not doing much now, we're just getting all these tiny little details put in. Alright. Let's kind of start filling in some of this green and areas we missed. My least favorite thing to paint is... I have a lot of least favorite things to paint. But I definitely hate painting when a hand holding a weapon, especially something like this where it's like kind of an awkward angle. Death Chasers against itself. I like to see. That comes down to initiative, I think. Well, Zell will have like 2 turns to get something done before he's dead. Have a good night, y'all. Well, good night, Tails. You all take care. Y'all see you Sunday. You all see me pontificate on Tails podcast on their channel on Sundays. Which, if you haven't subscribed to Tales of Valhalla, definitely do so. Tails is a legit human being. Tails is actually one of the people that inspired me to create this channel. I watched their podcast when I was starting and their content, and I was just like, I kind of like what they're doing. I like that there's this the community is really great, and Tails ends every stream telling the viewers that they have a purpose to pursue it and find it. I'm misquoting, of course, here, but those words definitely inspired me in a rather kind of, I'd say, negative period of my life. So I owe a lot to Tails. I think we're about done with the base layer of this guy. We're gonna have to work on the highlights where this thing will really start to become alive. But we're getting some colors on. I mean, you could show up to a tournament like this and, you know, put a little bit of wash on it and you'd be fine. But there's so much we can do with this. All these finely crafted scales are going to be really fun to work on. But we'll let this guy sit for a bit as I think about him and figure out what I want to do with him next. I say as I continue painting him. Let's see here. Yes, while getting the wash right is tricky. Personally, stripped my wasabi after botching that part. Yeah, lately I've started just putting varnish on my marrow before doing any of that and letting that sit a couple layers, just as it's a delicate process, and it's nice to have a little bit of barrier between that and what you're adding on. Also, I find that putting a varnish on before wash allows the flow to work a bit better and actually just settle into recesses instead of just staining your whole model. Okay, we're using this Payne's Gray here. We might do some kind of non-metallic for this, or kind of try to give it a rough, rocky feel like it has in the artwork. There's a great video online from a former skate painter that actually kind of lives nearby me named Blast Shark. They did a great tutorial on painting Morrow. That's honestly one of the reasons why I haven't made my own yet, is I feel like the video is pretty thorough. I have some updates to the formulas and stuff like that, but definitely look up Blast Shark and Morrow, and there's a very detailed and well done breakdown of how to paint it. Right now, working on Zetacron. Ooh, that's a fun one. Problem with Zetacron is that it's too easy to make Zetacron look better than the official model. The official model has a whole lot more wash on it than any other of the. It's really sloppy, kind of how the wash is than any of the other Omnicrons. Are you repainting official Morrow figures? I have not done official Morrow. I do 3D prints and such for the Morrow. Tornado's Breach, Crimson Widow, Dreadnoughts of Caraway Cavern, Exiles of the Sundered Sea, Ninjas of the Northern Wind. Ooh, that's a fun build. A little, oh, you got Exiles for range at least. That's good. I would run that. I think you would struggle into... I kind of like that build. I don't... If the figure limit for the event was lower, I would definitely run something like that. Because that seems like a lot of fun. But the problem is, I hate high figure limits. Like, it's just so easy to just be... you have to really have some kind of heavy... You have to have something that can chew through so many figures. I think a 14... I really love the Gen Con formats. Just running, like, 14 figs was really nice. I like that. Are you repainting official Morrow figures? And perhaps I need some clarification. Are you talking about like classic Heroscape figures, or yeah, I'm not sure. I did paint a Bakburna on one of my live streams previously. I think it was actually one of the Renegade ones. But I have some hounds I've been working on. I painted some radioactive hounds, and I've painted a lot of dividers for people, because that's one people need in mass, and they're pretty expensive to get. When I was doing my index series, I broke down and bought some, and it's also just, I think they were like $105 I paid for it. It was a stupid amount. Yeah, they're not like, one squad of dividers isn't going to help you out at all. You need like 10. But I do like the dividers. That was one I always wanted. I use a Elogu Saturn 16K Ultra. Oh, you struggled to find STLs as well? Look on Thingiverse is the best place. Just type in the exact unit name. I believe the holder is Art Shulak or Light 3D made them on Thingiverse. That's where you could find all the... I think every official model has been scanned. Dreadnoughts are such a cool squad. I want to see more in their aesthetic. Varied squads, big weapons, cool powers. The Morrow were my favorite when I was a kid, or maybe the Vikings. Yeah, I love a lot of people love the Morrow. I think the Vikings were cooler. I'm a Viking stan. I want some more Vikings added into modern Heroscape. I want some shield bearers, although maybe not fully historically accurate. They are, part of pulp culture. You got to have some shield bearers for the Vikings. I love some Draugr, or however you say it. Some like undead Vikings. Is that a resin printer? Yes, that is. I have an FDM printer that I've never figured out how to use. I haven't. It's put together, and I just haven't had a good print with it yet. It's been there for almost a year. Yeah, the Elogu is a resin printer. We're taking some dark ivory now and just blending in that underarm stuff. Oh, now I think it might be more like gray. Let me look at this guy. How does this work here? So it kind of blends in. This is a goofy little guy, I'll tell you that. I wonder where he came from. Like, is he from the seas of Valhalla? Or maybe the seas of, like, Mar? I don't know. All we know is he's the species called a Salatian, according to the bio. And this is a Durgeth, which is mentioned in a scenario. And the other guy's a Primadon. I know my Heroscape trivia. We're going to go for more of a standard gray here. We're going to take this cool gray from Procolor's more of their amp color line. And we're going to kind of start creating a blend betwixt the two. Be careful not to have the paint get into our ferrule, the edge of our brush. All right, and we're gonna start sketching in some highlights here. I've never seen One Piece. I'm not a huge anime person, even though I love animation as a genre. Let me get something to drink. I'm losing my voice. Nothing like some late night coffee to keep you going. I heard it's pretty good though. Like, I have no hate against anime. I just I don't know why you keep on pronouncing it so weird. I'm so sorry. Anime. I just don't have. This never has caught my attention. Oh, you've only seen the live action version? Okay. The one released on Netflix, I think. And we're taking our brush with this lighter color and just kind of doing a wet, when I call it like a wet or moist dry brush. But we didn't remove the moisture, so we want it to kind of blend, but still kind of just catch the edges mainly. BGC add, please. Is that an anime or is that something else? Anime. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. It's just it's how it's just how I say it now. So we're taking this cool gray and we're just kind of stippling on a bit more texture to this blade here. I have to blend this down. Ah, yeah, I like that style. Hand drawing's pretty fun. It's important that when you're working with like highlights and building up colors, is highlights power lies in their brevity. It's if you can manage to keep your highlights impactful but slight, a single line can sometimes define a whole highlight, more so than making the whole thing a highlight. It's my classic Roguescaper saying is that if everything's a highlight, nothing's a highlight. You really want that deep contrast between your dark tones and your light tones. See here, I'm going a bit too bright, so I'm gonna take some water and just really dilute my paint to its glaze, and then I'm going to kind of go from the part where I want it to be a shadow and then pull up to soften these edges a bit here. Paints a lot of back and forth of bringing a color down, then bringing it up, and then bringing it back down, then so on and so forth. Alright, so we're going to get some gray blue, start kind of separating these tones a bit here, and we're going to mix that with that Payne's gray. FX will pick up a Heroscape piano. Probably. I don't know. I would love to animate a... I think Heroscape can only be done in animation. I think just the scope and scale of it cannot be achieved fully in live action. I think... and also couldn't be done as a movie. It needs a mini-series or full-on 5-season format. And I'm taking this lighter color, just kind of sketching out these muscles here, just kind of wolf one them out of my focal range. And oh, there you go. $200 USD, that's conservative in that pricing. Yeah, I don't have Netflix anymore. Couldn't keep up. I only have really Disney Plus at this point. I have Disney Plus and I have Taskmaster Supermax Plus, which is just the streaming service for the show Taskmaster exclusively, which is a British panel comedy show that I watch religiously, more so than any other show. Short movies or series, yeah. It's just there's so many characters. You could tell whole stories on just the worlds outside of the game before you even start the story. I would love for Renegade to do like a kind of like what Pokemon's been doing lately, just like these little 2-minute shorts that kind of give some detail and personality to the world of like they explore Pokemon. I think it's like called their Living Pokédex series or whatever, and it's really cute and it's really like it's just cozy and fun, and like not cozy and fun and cute, but like I feel like we can tell snippet stories from Heroscape characters, and bring a bit of humor to the game, personality. I think if you saw that like on your Shorts feed, you know, while you're, you know, I think it would appeal to people looking for the game. Because right now, I was thinking about this today. I feel like Heroscape doesn't have a lot of box presence at this point. Like, it doesn't really showcase, especially this expansion packs and stuff like that, doesn't fully showcase like the game system very well. I have a lot of problems with the Master Set box because I feel like it doesn't properly showcase what is inside the game. Taskmaster Jr., the kids are smarter than comedians. I haven't seen that one yet. I might have to dive into it. random question: is Taskmaster Junior like kid appropriate, or is it just like Taskmaster with kids? Like, because I would like my kids to watch it because I think it's kind of clever. Oh yeah, that'd be really something with Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it's fun if you could create story for your game. And in terms of painting, we are just taking this pure blue-gray and just putting up his muzzles. And we're just adding our highlights. Yeah, I think that would be a good next step for Renegade to take, though, is just to really get some cool animation, some Tarkovsky-style animation, like Samurai Jack and stuff like that, and really just really kind of emphasize how cool it is. Kind of a callback to the cartoons of yore, but in a more, I think just a more, like, it doesn't have to be the full story arc, it doesn't have to be serialized, just kind of like, and I don't even think it needs to be too funny or too silly, but like, just like a Morrow warrior in battle, or a Morrow warrior is trying to reclone but can't. You know, like little moments in the game. Kelda trying to heal someone with her spear and stabbing them because she rolled a 1. Like, kind of gate stuff that like winks at the game but still tells the story. Would be really great. Because I do think Heroscape needs to take that next level if it wants to stay beyond just a board game. Because I think Heroscape has the capabilities of it's kind of like this kitchen sink, anything can happen type of stuff. And I think there's a lot of possibilities for stuff beyond just the game proper. It's a really cool, interesting story. It's not deep story at all. And gameplay, what's the difference between Warhammer 40K and Heroscape? So, gameplay here. I've only played a few games of 40K. I haven't played much, and I don't think they were even like the full games. I just kind of showed up with a friend, and they said, "Here's roll these dice when I tell you to." The biggest difference between 40K and Heroscape, though, is that 40K treats your whole every unit on the board as in play actively. There's no managing order markers. There's not that kind of order marker system management. It really is coming down to your army build. A lot of the game is determined. Honestly, I feel like you don't even need the figures of the board. It's just because not a lot of it matters, except for like how you stat and build your figure. A lot of it is the appeal of 40K is the building your army more so than the actual playing the game. And also, when you attack, there's always a chance of counterattack. Attacking is a lot more inherently risky, and so it seems to create a little bit more of it's fine. From what I found, at least, it's like seems fine just to sit still and do nothing, and in your game and let people attack you, and you just hit harder back. But I think it's a little bit more complex than that. But that's just my opinion. I haven't played enough to have a full-on analysis of it. But you're really looking at your individual units you statted out into an army core. Reddit viewer who has never heard of Heroscape watches a World War II soldier bully a squad of aliens before slaying the dragon. They'll get immediately hooked. For the magical katana, yeah. Well done animation. Keep it simple, keep it fast. They do well. Yeah, the biggest appeal of 40K is painting the little guys. I definitely agree. I think 40K has a much better installed hobby mentality where really the game is an excuse to paint your armies. And whereas I think it's the other way around for Heroscape. Heroscape, you're painting your armies to play the game. And we're taking some of that Payne's Gray, and we are just blending some of these areas where we went a bit too bright. Yeah, 50 dice. It is a lot of dice. That I would say is pretty appealing. I honestly feel like 40K would be a better game on like a computer or some kind of platform that does the calculations and stuff for you. Kind of like Risk. Like Risk is a better game on the computer than an actual play, just because there's so much tedious calculations. It just takes a long time. That's what I feel. Like I'm pretty rough with my miniatures, and I feel like they just don't stand up to the abuse I give them. I'm pretty rough with my Heroscape figures, and I'm kind of pretty confident that they'll stay together. The only tragedy I've had is my Zed Nesbit, which I lost one of the fan propellers, but I'm just going to put some wires coming out of it, and you know, if it's the unit. It's... I hate assembling models, so that's like my... I don't know if that's like a mark against me as a painter and a hobbyist, but I just don't like gluing. Gluing things is tedious. Played a 40K RPG called Dark Heresy. Now, I will say that for those interested in the lore and the and just the, you know, the in-depth nature and having everything mean something, I mean, Warhammer is the place to go. I think that's what hooks many people into it, is that it's very in-depth. I cut my blimp off just so I could actually reach the parts. That was intentional, but then as I had it on my counter, I think it just fell off and broke the propeller. So I did break it, but not intentionally. And this is the base here. It's getting worked on. I've already painted a blimp, and this is just an extra. I actually have 2 extra blimps I have on hand. Yeah, Ned crashed. It was intentional. Let's see. Don't tell me that's part of this body. I think it is. Alright, well, we gotta build up Shark King's pecs here, because we forgot to do that. I do like this guy, I think, the best out of the bunch. He's just so derpy but scary, like... Okay. I had it somewhere, but I lost it. Well, I was planning on gluing it back on, so that'll be a little side project for me, but I'm not too worried about it. Maybe I'll give it away as a giveaway or something. I think we're about ready for some more giveaways on this channel. It's been a bit since I've done some, so I have some extra stuff lying around I might be able to pawn off to you all, you loyal viewers, at some point. So I think we just hit the 800 mark. That's a pretty good milestone. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing to paint. I think it should have came splittable, and it's just an impractical model as is, but having to paint it is kind of, you have to cut it apart. Also, the lack of a clear fight stand drives me crazy to no end. My Little Scythe. I've never heard of that. Let me check that one out on the Googles. Oh, that does look fun. Yeah, my kids would love painting those. Huh. And it's got hexagons. The bestagons, so I'll have to look into that. I've been teaching my kids how to play games and how to paint and all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's get some more color on this guy here. There's so many cool recent games I haven't just gotten to play. I love games. I love board games and such. I'm always willing to learn or play a new one if someone's willing to teach me. But I hate teaching board games. I'm to the point where I like playing games with people who know the game and like playing it. And that's why I kind of got so integrated into the Heroscape community. Because I got a little tired of... I played with like my dad and people who don't like play a lot, so I had to kind of like explain the rules the entire game, where I was pretty much playing the game for everyone, like, oh, this is a good move to make, and it has its place. Every Memorial Day we break it out and play a good long game with everyone off, my brother-in-law and his dad and all that kind of stuff. But it is also, I've learned so much more about the game just going to games where people know more than me. It's been such a delightful experience for me. Like, I'm losing like nobody's business. And I feel like I know a lot about the game. Like, I've been playing since I was 9, and I get pretty bored and pretty obsessive, so it's nice to be playing with some peers in that regard. Terrible hobby ADHD. I'm constantly buying new games to paint, never finish anything. Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, that's why I have the YouTube channel, and that's why I paint live a lot, just to keep me... I would have quit a long time ago if it weren't for all you. So you kept me focused on this. But yeah, the reason I have so many various skills is because of that. Like, I used to be really into graphic design. I used to be really into writing. I used to, for a brief period of my life, be really into playing instruments. But I wasn't too good at that, so I'm glad I kind of stopped. But I loved it. I was like just really obsessed with playing instruments, and at one point I was fairly decent with the banjo. I've been wanting to pick one up. I had to sell it when I moved out of state a while back, just to pay my way here. But I've been wanting to pick up banjo again. Yeah, painting was kind of pre-pandemic and then fueled by the pandemic, and honestly, the reason I started painting, I figured that if Heroscape would ever come back, it would be by unpainted. I felt like that was the only way Heroscape would ever come back, and I was partially right, at least with the HasLab reveal. So I was kind of like prepped and ready for it. but I'm glad for this. This may be a hot take, but I'm kind of glad that the HasLab failed for multiple reasons. But one that affects no one else is that I was going to have to be painting all those master set units for people because they were unpainted, and at that time there wasn't very many Heroscape painters, and at least prolific ones in the community. And so I had like 4 or 5 people I promised I'd paint their whole master set for them, and I didn't have my pricing worked out at that time. I learned a lot about pricing. I would have been locked doing this forever. So that's one of the. So I love painting. Let's see here. Gotta check out this PDF because I do remember seeing it show up one time here. Yeah, look at it. Let's see here. Signing into anything takes like 10-factor authentication now. Yes, this is me using the computer I use every day. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to hack my own account. I'll wait for it to pull up. All right. Alright, looking at command cards real fast. Wait for paint to dry secretly. Stretching my back. Getting coffee. We're doing the whole rest stop thing here. Okay. Let's get another layer while we wait this to load. There we go. Okay. So for those curious, okay. Turn my head sideways. I will have to dive deep into this. That's a lot. So pretty much summarizing, it looks like it's a way to manage order markers differently. Well, not order markers, but turn order differently. 64 command cards of various types. What's something of... Huh. Interesting. I'll have to dive deep into that. What's the biggest appeal of that compared to just standard order markers? What would you say? Little did you know that I am highly distractible. No, I'm the only thing I am more so than distractible is curious. And those are my two defining traits, for better or for worse. And let's see here. Muscles are fun to paint, but they take a bit of time. You always want your highlights to go a bit further into the crevices of the muscles, because if you just kind of do something like this, where you just kind of put the shadow deep in the contrast, it starts to look a little too blocked in. You want the shadows and the highlights to kind of overlap. Distract and accomplish. Yes, you did. I'm partially convinced that everyone shows up just to see see what errant quest I can go on every week, which is not wrong. The other player never knows which army card. Ah, okay, so you have a bit more of the guessing there. We're taking this cool gray, we're mixing it with that ivory just to make a very light off gray for our last edge highlight here. We'll have to do a little bit of work on this just to bring it up. You, of course, can just paint this silver just to just paint this if you wanted to do this fast. The pirate progress is great. We'll be able to finish these all now. I don't know. I think we can definitely get base layers done. I'm trying to get some color on all of them. This might be a sequel stream. Maybe I'll do a different day, some random time where I just finish the rest of these guys. I do have another set as well, so I might also just film it and make a more dedicated video on layer and highlights for these guys, which I think would be kind of fun. Something different. I haven't decided yet, because we're doing some detailed work here. We're kind of just all over, because there's so many different things to touch on. My goal is to get at least some paint on all the pirates tonight. Oh, we're almost at 2 hours, which is pretty good. I haven't realized. Time flies. You're painting pirates and having fun. And thank you for the comment, by the way. Sloppy with that white there. I need to clean that up here. This guy will take a lot of fine tuning, but we're getting there. Not thinned down enough. So we're getting there. It's a little messy. Need some tuning, but we're getting the ideas here. Normally you would just base coat this and then do the layers, but I wanted to show just a different aspect of it. This is definitely the model when Age of Annihilation was first announced that I like saw pre-painted. I was like, I love that paint job. Okay, we'll let that dry for a bit. Let's get a little bit of paint on my lovable ape. I could find him. I could have swore he was around here. But perhaps not. Perhaps he has run away. Or perhaps I'm just blind. It's one of those. Gotta be here somewhere. Okay. Am I going crazy? I might be. I just saw him here. I don't know, maybe. We won't pay us. It's getting kind of late regardless. Still a little bit of highlights. I got a little bit left in me, but I can't find the big monkey with the hammer. Strange. Okay, well, we'll just keep on painting then. The king is almost here. I know. I can't find where he's at. You all took him and pranking me now. I feel it. Oh, here he is. Fell on the floor. Which army am I looking forward to play coming out next year? Well, I'm a snake stan, so definitely looking forward to running just the Vipers whenever I can. They seem a really good splash army, but I don't think they're strong enough just to be nothing but them. But I really am excited about the Kraken and Thorman. I think there's a lot of fun builds that are coming out. And I think people aren't ready for them. So I'm really looking forward to it. I want to experiment with the elites just to see if they're any good. But I also do really like I kind of like them all. I do like the most competitively. I think I really like the Revenants. I think there's a lot of possibilities with those guys. I think they're pretty spicy, and I think they'll just get spicier because they reference witches which haven't even been revealed yet. So I think they're just going to keep on getting better. And we're using this black brown again. Try to keep my color palette relatively simple as to avoid overclogging it. Might need more of a brown gray for the skin tone. Yeah, that is a valid concern. It's definitely hard to keep up for sure. It's all great stuff. I think the only units I don't like are the elites. I think they're kind of they're okay. But I think they were a misstep compared to other units. But I don't know. I just don't think they do enough to. If they just had like one more of something, if they just had one more attack or one more move, or even one more defense to make them really tanky, they just, I don't know, a 3-3-4, a 3 attack, 3 defense squad, even with 2 lives, is at that price point is kind of like, eh. I'd rather literally run anything else. And they're only good if your army takes wounds. So you're really You're really hoping just to take exactly 1 wound. Otherwise, you just fall apart. Yeah, Kraken Thorman is going to be really fun. I think at Gen Con, I think at Escape Con, I think those who are willing to be brave will find some really good use out of them. Just because people won't be prepared. I think the G.I. Joe stuff is good. It's just it's hard because I don't care about G.I. Joe, but it's like something I have to be aware of for the overall, you know, just units available, because they do have some pretty significant toolkits and all that type of stuff. But yeah, the wallet less so. Yeah, it's tough. I'm kind of just I'm to the point now where I'm like, do I buy more paint or do I buy more figures? It's kind of this weird balancing act I'm in, because it's just $50 for unpainted is a little tough to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get a slightly different brown with brown gray here for the skin tone. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is a lot at once. I wholeheartedly agree. And there's just the problem is I wish it was all less good. There's like nothing I don't want to have. And so that's the... Oh, I forgot about Chain Gruts. I'm excited about having Chain Gruts, but maybe not as much about playing them, if that makes sense. I'm glad they exist. They're just fun little guys, and I do like the Ramasaur Rider a whole lot. If they get the sizing issue fixed, then he'll be really cool. Unique painting Kraken looks like it'll be fun. That will be a bit of a... I think it'll be fun. There's just a lot of elements there. I have to remember how it looks, but I think the pieces are pretty clearly defined on the models. They're not like hidden, which is nice. But yeah, the Thorman looks so good. I'm excited about doing I'm gonna do a really nice paint job on Thorman. I want to do like a really fancy paint job on Thorman. This is my plan. Just to really show that he's the big kahuna. Yeah, I think the Chain Gruts are pretty funny. Like, you gotta, I think they look better. I think they'll look better once people start painting them. I think the paint jobs don't do the fun models justice, honestly. Like, I think just a little bit of highlights, they'll really start to come alive. Some models don't need that, but like the Dreadnoughts don't need a lot of extra love. Their as-is model looks pretty decent, but the Chain Gruts will need that cloth and all that stuff, so it doesn't look like they're wearing plasticky suits. But I like the Chain Gruts. I'm a Chain Grut fan. I can get why people don't immediately like them, but to me they're just goofy little guys. But still, like, there's a difference between like a goofy little guy and a goofy little guy that looks like they can fight and be combat viable. Like, I feel like the Tanukis, at least in terms of design, are kind of goofy because they don't look like they're like combat fighters. Same with the Scions, but like the Gallery are like goofy little guys, but they look like how you would expect them in a aquatic species to fight and look. Yeah, I hope I'm right too. I might be smoking the copium pretty hard because I like Gruts and I like dinosaurs, so maybe I'm trying to justify it. Would at least be better if they had the Warriors of Ashra ability. Even just having that, they would be so much better. I think it's just the problem with the elites is they are a patch for some really bad units. So their sole purpose is to make some really bad units slightly more usable, but I think in terms of a patch, they are extremely limited in their army building. Like, take the Ranox. They're not like they're trying to fix a broader issue, so their uses are a lot more applicable. but the elites are only usable in an elite build. Like they're kind of locked into that build solely, and any other build just like they're kind of like a theory crafting dead end. There's not really much to discuss with them. Whereas the Kraken, it's like anything goes. More people want to play a patio if they get a cool factory style can sell a box. I agree. I don't think the elites are that cool looking either. I think they're kind of mid at best. In terms of warrior forest angels that are elite fighting force, serving a fractured, serving a endangered general from various tribes, it doesn't give that cool factor. It's like, okay, they get thrives, which are 3 knives taped together, and they only work if they get wounded a lot. Like, it's just, in terms of coolness, it could be a bit more. I do wonder if the Army Painter would continue collaborating with paint kits that include a mini in the box, unpainted decker for $20, rough sell, a few more bucks for Hamilton paint. Yeah, I agree. I think paying $30 for a miniature with some paint is a lot better deal than paying $20 for a decker, especially when they were giving them away for free. It's kind of, I think promos are priced a little too high, but I guess that's what they have to be. We are using copper for this arm, by the way. Yeah, I've said this before, but the new units are pretty easy to proxy because they're inspired by a lot of classic units. I think the hardest thing to proxy will be the Knuckle of A out of the new sets, as well as the Kraken and Thorman. Those things will be pretty hard to sub in appropriately, but you want to sub in the Revenants, that's pretty easy to do. Spoiler, they're just the other existing units with just looking a little bit worse for wear. Like Granox, just be Armox, so there's at least some flexibility there if you want to play the powers and not invest. Because right now I don't condone people scanning and printing 3D models of a game in production. You know, the classic models get a little bit of a pass because no one's making money off of them. And so, you know, it's, if you aren't able to purchase, then piracy is not illegal, is my strong philosophy. But the new stuff, you know, I want to keep the game alive, and I don't like the cost. I'm kind of convinced Renegade doesn't like the cost either. I think it's going over. I think there's been a lot of internal conversations about it, about all that kind of stuff, and it does seem like at least Renegade's working with Army Painter for now. I know some of the designers messaged me for some color tips on some of their things they've done, like what's the best color for the base and such like that. And I was like, there's honestly not a good one at this point. Leather brown is what I found to be the closest, even though your brown is a bit darker, but it's as good as it's gonna get. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a little bit more bold, I felt like, than the that was honestly more of a mistake. I forgot it didn't have a silver arm, but I kind of like it more. I meant to do it in his hammer, but I don't want to do it in his hammer now because it might take away from the arm. But maybe it will look fine. It does catch the eye a bit more. We put a brown wash on this, we'll be looking pretty cool. Or actually, what I like to use for copper and gold tones is a flesh-colored wash, as I think it just has a bit of a reddish tint to it usually. And happy little accidents. As the red tint just kind of brings out a bit more of the brown undercoloring of it. Yeah, the problem with protectors is the moment one of their heroes dies, they just are worthless. Like they are, like they're just really expensive things for someone to easily chew on at that point. And also, I think Grimneck can just chew through them like biasly, like eats both life in a single turn. Like they don't have any resistances of a large unit, so they're just kinda in a weird spot. If they were cheaper or had more stats. Thanks, Dastardly Doug, for swinging by. You have a good rest. It is getting kind of late, isn't it? You take care. Let's see here. Hammer or Great Mace? Oh, this thing? It might be a Great Mace. I concede to you on that point that it's some kind of cudgeling instrument that would hurt to get hit with, for sure. Yeah, I guess it's missing the bespoke clawed back that's required for a Warhammer. I've heard they all have red caps. Yeah, I think they or red capes. Yeah, they all have a bit of the. I think if you look at all the pirates, they all. No, actually, never mind. The Exiles break that. According to the original Age of Annihilation lore, they all had bandanas that you could color to your own color for your army's liking, but I don't think that ever like fully came through in the designs. If you were to invest in, you can use a bunch of cheap paints, but if you're to invest in no other good paints, invest in some good metallics. The difference between a good metallic and a cheap metallic is like night and day. Most metallics break apart with water, but two brands have found Vallejo Game Color and Procryl metallics, as well as Army Painter speed paints, respond very well to thinning and actually maintain their structure. So you can get a bit of that thinness and apply it without clogging up the details and still kind of get that highlights underneath. And we're just getting some color on this guy. Ooh, yeah, folk art to Army Painter speed paints. I think that's a good transition. Army Painter metallics are fairly decent. I don't think they're bad. I think they are a good average thing. But the new Fnatic stuff Army Painter's been doing is really really nice. I love the Fnatic. I don't paint with it as much as just because I like how Procryl looks and feels, but I think Army Painter Fanatics is a great thing to paint with. The good thing about Army Painter, and just overall, it's a great company. In general, they really care about the consumer. They really care about making a quality product. Is that they're willing to admit that their mistakes were made, and really learned how to grow from it. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever used their original war paint line, but it was largely regarded as one of the worst hobby paints to use just because of how inconsistent and blotchy and watery it was. And they created that way because people wanted, at that time, a really cheap hobby paint to get into. Like, they were like almost like $2.50 a bottle. Really great prices. But after receiving a lot of feedback that their paints were kind of inconsistent, they decided to redesign their whole formula and reached out to tons of creators and painters and stuff like that, and had them develop their own, like, pretty much say, what if you were to create a starter set or a paint line, what do you need? And they took all that feedback and made the Fanatic line. So nothing but praise there. In that long spieled praise in that regard. And it's nice when a company makes paint but doesn't really make a lot of models. There's a bit more one focus on things. Now, do I paint the giant mace copper? I'm going to paint the top copper. Or do I go for a different tone? Maybe a brass. A brassy tone would be nice. I don't usually like to have a lot of different shades of metallic, so if possible, I think I'm going to paint the top copper and go with it. Give it a little bit of balance on the other side. There's not enough things use copper. It's a good color. I think we'll add some glowing coils to the hammer, really make it seem impactful. We'll probably do that later. Army Painter speed paints are great. That's another thing. They improved the formula. Currently, most speed paints are 2.0 compared to the original 1.0. 1.0 had this unique property where it would reactivate if you put paint over it. Pretty much any moisture or paint would reactivate original speed paints, which had some fun uses if you kind of knew what you're doing. But they stabilized the formula, so you can apply speed paint as a base layer now and paint over it without it coming all runny and blotchy, which is really nice. Because that used to be the biggest detriment of speed paints. I have to get some more speed paints. I'm hoping for some for Christmas, because I know a lot of people use it, and it's a really great tool, and there is no shame or discouragement for anyone who uses it. People like to hate on something because it's fast and easy, and I never want to do that. I think speed paints, there's some really great applications and some really fun tech that you can do, and you can really get, I mean, speed paint is paint. It's just you're using, instead of, what I'm doing is more of a traditional style, which is building up layers, starting from a dark shadow or my darkest layer and building up to brightness. Speed paints work in reverse, where you create your underlayer is the most important part, and that will dictate how your speed paints go. And also, speed paint, like stuff like yellow and oranges, is great just because it really is. Painting yellow acrylic is not fun. But I have to get some more. I'm all out of my current collection of speed paints, and I just haven't had. I've been too busy buying other paints to taste and eat before I invested in some more speed paints. Yeah, if you want paint to be easy, then definitely check speed paints, especially if you put a little bit of time in practicing some brush control with. What I'm doing right now really isn't designed for this is more me just taking the long approach so I have something to talk about for 2 hours. It's being a little extra, if we're being honest. Like, I'm just trying to find ways to teach new techniques and all that kind of stuff, and just do something while I'm talking. But honestly, painting doesn't need to be this long or this hard. Maybe it's a bad impression of it. But no, if you create a good, do some zenithal like I did, and do some speed paint, you can get a model looking really good and really fast, and in an hour or so, even less if you have a good system. There's a lot you can do with speed paints. It's really great for blending and filtering, and I gotta make that video. I know I say this a lot. I got a lot of videos to make. It's just honestly, it's hard for me to sit and focus long enough to get the script and the footage all there into one spot. So it's something I'm working on. It's my thing to overcome. Every video I post is like 3 hours of editing and 10 hours of trying to focus on editing. Painting is 3 times faster than painting. That is partly because that's why I use the Pro Acryl stuff, just because the coverage is so strong. I don't have to do as many layers because there's just so much more color per paint. But I think you move into Fanatic, you'll definitely see a strong improvement to your time as you have just more pigments to work with. Hopefully. I also do just paint a lot. I think I paint about 2 to 3 hours a day if I have full time. So I've been doing this a little bit. With a little bit of practice, you just get the hang of it. You know how the colors work and where they go to with each other. Zealot Yellow is really nice. It's a little bit orangish. I like, what's it called? They're like honey yellow, whatever it is. A little softer. But yellow is really nice. Yellow is just not fun to paint, so as standard. Zealot Yellow just settles on a mini nicely, and you get this. Yellow is a fun color to work with, just because it's a really great building path for it. A lot of yellow transitions into a lot of colors easily. You want to do yellow, it works great as a highlight to green. You want to do yellow, it blends well with red. You want to do yellow, it's really beautiful when it blends into purple. Like, there's just so many good uses for yellow. And pink, yeah, yellow and pink. Yeah, speed paint, the problem I have with speed paint is I am inherently impatient. And actually, after you apply the speed paint, you kind of have to wait for that to dry before you start working on other colors. If you just kind of rush into the next section, your colors will start to kind of blend and get all muddy and all that kind of stuff. So I always have to like do a color, then wait, and that's hard for me. Check all my video idea script and ready to be a mess otherwise. That's a smart idea. I used to have a to-do list, but then my computer restarted and I lost it. I gotta have you on the channel sometime, Cody. I love your content. I think your short form content is really good. There's actually not a lot of great short form Heroscape content out there. A lot of it is just cut from larger videos, and it's I think it's really nice. It's dedicated in that regard. I love to pick your brain on some of that stuff and just give your channel some love. So I might be in chat pretty soon if you're up for it. If not, that's totally fine. Do I use glow-in-the-dark or UV paints? I use fluorescents a lot. Fluorescents are really nice and fun. Not purely glow-in-the-dark, but so blue light is... No, I'm not gonna grab it. I use a lot of fluorescents, like stuff like this. This is something I got from JitCon. Actually, it's a really bright fluorescent that if you hold it under blue light, it really glows. I don't want to turn off all my lights just to showcase it, but I use it a lot for eyes and like weapon glow and stuff like that, just to add a bit of high light attractiveness to it. Okay. But nothing purely glow-in-the-dark. I find pure glow-in-the-dark paint is a little clumpy. But I haven't done too much research to see if there's anything that's not too clumpy to use. It does add a little bit of coolness to it. Yeah, I agree. Like, here's an example I have. So I did a little bit of glowing effects on the light and the trident here, just to make it stand out a bit more. See it, missed some spots, but yeah. So that's kind of what I use it for. Just really subtle little pops of bright color. If you put this underneath a blue light, this stuff would glow really bright underneath it. I use a little bit of like fluorescence and stuff like that to sometimes edge highlight if I want a really like dynamic design. Just like the edges in that fluorescent paint is a really cool effect. Stuff like this acolyte's eyes here, use stuff like that. Just kind of, it just catches your eyes a bit more. Alright. Let's get some dark orange brown. And we're going to pick out some of these hairs just for show. Just adding a bit of distinction. Put this. Probably add a wash over it just to bring it down. If you're planning on using washes, you definitely want to think, okay, I'm going to probably darken this down. So I usually go like a shade or two lighter. And I would like it to appear so it kind of ends up right around the level I want it to be. Yeah, it's starting is a pain, and finishing is a pain too. it's a pain through and through. Us content creators, we didn't choose the easy path. And if everyone here hasn't subscribed to Cody's Cardboard, definitely check them out as well. They do some really fun stuff. They paint as well. So if you're looking to experiment with some speed paints and some other techniques, definitely don't have me be the only painter out there. Far be it, I am far from a master in all this. New ideas, new insights are always a thing you should be looking for. Alright. And we're just taking this ivory. I love using ivory as a color to mix in for highlights, just because it's a little bit more natural than something like pure white. So just doing a little bit of ivory, a little bit of that brown gray. And thankfully, he has a really well-defined facial features. And we're using let's go down to more brush points. Alright, we're gonna pick out these teeth. Important thing when doing teeth like this, if you're doing, is you want to keep that line dividing the teeth. That's where it gets its shape and form from. So if you can take your time, use a fine tip brush, and just pick out the tops of the teeth. You really get a lot more cleaner of a look. Clean up those eyes a bit. Good. Alright, let's just show off that flesh wash because I mentioned it now. If I can find it. It's around here somewhere, I swear. I redid my painting setup again, in case you haven't noticed. And of course, whenever that happens, it's a little bit less crowded now, which is nice. But also, that means I don't know where anything is. But never fear. Well, maybe fear a bit. I can't find it, but it's fine. I guess I could just use strong tone, which is a bit of a brown, but it's not the effect I was looking for. A black light, yes. I didn't mean that. Yeah, adding the acrylics on top of a speed paint is really great. Just for some remedial highlights, just even just a quick dry brush over it is really nice. Definitely, yeah. First mini, I would love to see. It's not that hard, honestly. Once you start going, it's just paint by numbers, just filling in the spaces, and then just kind of work from there. We'll use this dark tone just because I can't find what I'm looking for. And actually it's strong tone, I'm sorry. She'll work just fine. And we're using a wash here. Washes work really great on metallics just because they settle into all those recesses and do that natural shading for you. Just add a lot of depth and darkness to it. The thing with washes is you don't want to overwork it. You just want it to kind of settle in where you want to go. And let it dry for a while. So washes are a very thin, high-flowing concentrate with more flow aid than like speed paints or glazes even, and it settles in the small thin recesses of your miniature. So if you're wondering, how do I paint all these cracks and crevices, you just let the paint technology do the work for you. The key thing is, remember, it always will darken your model, and you can always go back after it dries to bring up some things that got too dark. But I felt like I just wanted to show that off. As it's got some more work to do over there, but it's a fun, easy technique just to get a bit of definition on things. Alright, I think we'll kind of call it for tonight. I think we made a lot of great headway on our guys. The shark needs probably the most work. Yeah, they're definitely getting there. Once we start adding some fun highlights, I think we'll really start getting these guys some stories to be told here. But I need to set up my spin thing so we can see what we've been working on close up. But base layer for this guy, just kind of standard base. And this one we focused on just building up color and muscle. We did a little bit of we did a little bit better on the back here, so we're just building up some scratchy texture for the hook itself. We're gonna have to add some brighter highlights and just blend this all over, but we started the process. You notice we started to get some definition on these muscles as well, just slowly layering brighter colors over and over onto it. And this guy, we mainly focus on just putting some base colors on and showcased wash. So a lot of great techniques that that we used here. And yeah, I think that's about it for today. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment or reach out. I try to respond to that kind of stuff as much as possible. Thank you all for staying and chatting, keeping me focused or as much as I can be on what I need to do. James, definitely good luck if you ever attempt that first mini. You can always contact me if you want any outside advice, but I can assure you, you got it. It's not that hard to do. And yeah, I just hope everyone has a great rest of your week. I will see you around. And you all take care. Keep scaping on, and let's keep all this going strong. I'm enjoying our Thursday get-togethers. Y'all take care. Bye.